Okay, so looking at some vocals that my buddy Red sent to me. Super talented. You should go check him out on YouTube. I'll try and link him in the description if I remember to. But his name is Red26, and these are the vocals, like just the dry vocals on their own. I say dry. I've got my normal like vocal chain effects on them, but on their own, this is what they sound like.
Don't believe everything that you're told. Using this pen and pad to sharpen up my soul.
And I've forgotten to create an ad-lib one, so hang on, give me 1 second.
That you're told. Using this.
There we go. Okay, so I have all of the vocals, ad-libs included, all kind of being processed the way that they normally are. And now what I'm doing is creating a melody on top of it. And before I started recording, I had already started working on it, and it's essentially just two different pianos. So one is the closed grand piano, and this is the first pattern that I laid down, and it's just the exact same pattern every single 4 bars. So it sounds like this. And then I grabbed a different piano just to get a slightly different texture, although they sound pretty similar. And on the second piano, I laid down this pattern. And it's kind of the same thing every 4 bars, but I tried to make things slightly different. So I made this pattern here. And then I took that pattern, copy and pasted it here, and then tried to make it slightly different. I guess a way you could think of it is I took this note and just pushed it back and then added an extra note between. Doesn't matter. I added a little bit of variation is the point. And as you can see, that's not the only variation. There's an extra note here as well. So it's just a little bit different. And then in this one, I more or less copy and pasted this, but I just kind of kept adding to it. So I added some extra notes down here. I added, let's see, I added these 2 notes. I added this note. So I just kind of wanted to make it a little bit more different, add some more flavor notes. And then I kind of kept the same thing as this section here. And then that's the same as the second one. So altogether, it sounds like this.
Don't believe everything that you're told. Using this pen and pad to sharpen up my soul. New music, new me, like who this? I behind the phone with my depression. Yo,
I think I want to make this kind of cinematic, so I might add some strings. So I don't know if I want to add like a bunch of strings or if I just want like one singular like violin or something. Let's start with flex. Go to strings, all strings, sustained.
Don't believe everything that. Don't believe everything that.
So I'm more or less going to copy the chords that are already there and then just kind of try to play into notes that are also already there. So I see that there's a note here on one of the piano patterns. So I kind of want my strings to lead into that, or maybe I could do something like this where it's just above or just below the note. That way things kind of feel like they're flowing into each other. So let's try something like this. Let's put it here for now and see what this sounds like. And then maybe we can add an extra note here. This may sound bad, but let's see.
Don't believe everything that you're told. You don't believe everything that.
Actually, I think that's fine so far. So let's go na, 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 and go down. So let's keep this note.
Don't believe everything that you're told. Using this pen and pad. Don't believe everything that you're told. Everything that you're told. Using this pen and pad to sharpen up my soul. Don't believe everything.
Okay, so I copy and pasted this over to here, and then I'm kind of playing with some of these notes. So this note was up here, and I moved it down a little bit. Let's see if we can't move a few other things just to add some variation.
Don't believe everything that you're told. Using this pen and pad to sharpen up my soul. New music, new me, like who this? I behind the phone with my depression. Yo, don't believe everything that you believe. I behind the phone with my depression. Yo, every line. I behind the phone.
Let's copy and paste this over. And then let's do something similar and try to change the second half a little bit, just like we did with some of the other things. One of the things I'm going to do is try and invert some of these notes. So let's invert these. and just see what this sounds
Trying
like.
to phone with my depression. Yo, every line that I take has consequences. All my actions up on the fence. With such shit I persist. Stuck, ducking down inside this trench. Bullets overhead every time I flinch. Yo, I feel the pain sit between my fucking
Okay, I
brain.
think I'm going to add maybe some brass, and then I think I'm going to start putting effects on things.
Trying to phone with such shit I persist. Stuck, ducking down inside this new music, new me, like who this? I behind the phone with my depression. Yo, every line that I take has trench. Bullets overhead every time I flinch. Yo, I feel the pain sit between my fucking brain and my heart as I grow cold. Like where do I start? In search of that mental gold. Physically,
Let's go ahead and start adding effects to these instruments.
don't believe.
EQ the strings.
Don't believe everything that you're told. Using this, my actions up on the fence. With such shit I persist. Stuck, ducking down inside this trench. Bullets overhead every time I flinch. Yo, I thought it will show it back. Take my hand, tell me
EQ the brass as well. And then I think I'm going to make the brass, since it's so low in frequency, I'm going to separate it.
don't believe everything. Up on the fence with
Set some
such shit I
flanger.
persist. Stuck, ducking down. Don't believe everything on my soul. Don't believe everything that you're told. Using this pen and don't believe everyone with my depression. Yo, every line that I take has consequences.
Okay, I'm going to add some delay to the second piano that I added.
Don't believe everything that you're told. Using this pen and pad to sharpen up. Up
And then
on the
I think
fence
for
with
the
such
first piano that I put in, I think I'm just going to add reverb, but not too much.
don't believe everything. Where do I start? In search of that mental gold. Physically, I fold up. I don't really know love, but
I'm going to go back to the strings and shorten some of these notes so that there's not stuff happening the entire time. So I'm going to do that, I think, mostly with these higher notes. So maybe let's go like halfway.
don't
or a
believe
quarter.
everything that you're told. Using this pen and pad to sharpen up my soul. New music, new.
And then let's maybe do that with these as well.
Don't believe everything that you're told. Using this pen and pad to sharpen up my soul. New music, new me, like who this? I behind the phone with my depression. Yo, every line that I take has consequences. All my actions up on the fence. With such shit I persist. Stuck, ducking down inside this trench. Bullets overhead every time I flinch. Yo, I feel the pain
I'm going
sit.
to add some more effects to this brass. I think what I'm going to do is, I already have these effects on it, but I'm going to add more. And I'm going to have them trigger only when the brass like turns on and becomes louder. So let's do effects peak trigger. So what this is it's a peak controller on the brass itself, and it's going to trigger these effects. So let's trigger some more chorus.
Don't believe everything that you're
Some
told.
more delay.
Using this pen and pad to sharpen up my soul. New music, new me, like who this?
Some more
I be
reverb.
on the phone with my depression. Yo, every line physically I fold up.
And I think I'm
don't
gonna
really know love, but I
add
gotta
some
love
notes that are a little bit
myself
lower in
before they will
frequency as well.
Show it back. Don't believe everything that you're told. Using this pen and pad to sharpen up my soul. New music, new me, like I really drown.
So I think because the only thing that's really hitting any low notes are the brass, and I think I want more stuff happening in the low end. Not too much more, but just a little bit more. So I'm going to go back to my strings, which are right here. And I'm going to add some notes in the lower register. So maybe let's copy these, and then maybe the ones on top of them. And let's put them down an octave. Copy them and then put them down an octave.
Don't believe everything that you're told. Using this pen and pad to sharpen up my soul.
Go down an octave more.
Don't believe everything that you're told. Using this pen and pad to sharpen up my soul. New music, new me, like who this? I be.
Let's shorten them up.
Don't believe you don't believe everything that you're told. Using this pen and pad to
Okay, now what I'm going to do is start making these instruments sound a little bit more realistic. So let's go to that first piano, Alt A or Control A, Alt R, pulls up the randomization. And then I'm going to, I would strum these, but in this case it's not going to do anything, as you can see, because notes aren't on top of each other. Alt Q will help us randomize the timings a little bit. And then I'm also going to pan some of the downbeat notes. So I'm going to do these, and then anything on these. And because I have some like really short notes, I'm gonna pull this down a little bit so it's not so extreme, but then I'm gonna come back and do it again for these bigger ones. And then let's pan some of the downbeat notes as well that are lower in frequency. So it's these, and then I guess I could do this one, and that one. To the strings. Control A, Alt R. Alt S will help us strum any notes on top of each other. Alt Q, and let's bring this up a little bit.
Don't believe everything that you're told. Using this pen and pad to sharpen up my soul. New music, new me, like who this? I behind the phone with my depression. Yo, every line that I take has consequences. All my actions up on the fence. Which side should I persist? Ducking down inside this trench. Bullets overhead every time I flinch. Yo, I feel the pain sit between my fucking brain and my heart as I grow cold. Like, where do I start? In search of that mental gold. Physically, I fold up. I don't really know love, but I gotta love myself before they will show it back. Take my hand, tell me that you're proud before I'm up in the clouds. Give me my flowers now. It's like I really drowned. I was never found.